sometimes in these moments featuring classic music tracks in the little Einsteins, like this one, this particular scene features the team asleep in their colored sleeping bags, which kind of gives me the calming sensation every time I look at it. Or maybe that's just part of the episode of A Galactic Goodnight. Before Rocket has insomnia by making anxious, jingling noises, waking them up. And in these moments, using the same exact track was mostly used on Rocket when he is asleep for a little bit before jolting awake. But don't you know that there are some catchy musical moments in this episode? The catchy in question is, of course, this scene. The team singing their planet counting song that Annie made up, using the same exact music track. And speaking of music tracks, this particular one, which was a primary part of this episode, is, of course, Für Elise in A minor key. In English, For Elise, which was composed around 1810, but was never released to the public until 1867 by a different musical artist. And I think this was previously used in The Christmas Wish, which is also part of season 1 of the show. But the uses in this episode include the opening title, the sleeping bag scene, the attempts of making Rocket falling asleep, their planet counting song in a different key or tone, then the counting song again, but in a much lower tone for the last time, the final attempt in music box form, and for the final time after the team heads back home, either Annie or June singing a short song. But that's not all the music tracks that were used in this episode. Because after the scene where the Einsteins land on Mars, and when a dust storm was heading towards them, another piano track that was used in the scene is, of course, Appassionata, first movement in F minor, composed at around 1804 and 1805, before being released to the public in 1807. But keep in mind that when Rocket and the team were climbing up Olympus Mons, where the Mars rover told them to, I think that Quincy was playing the track just to help Rocket climb up the mountain faster and even faster. And once they got to the top, the same exact piano track for Elise was used, where Rocket fell asleep for a little bit. before jolting awake. But here is where the team encounters more Beethoven music. So, the team is back in space, counting the planets for Rocket, with that same exact piano track. But after reaching Jupiter, a huge gas giant, the team and Rocket get stuck in the planet's swirling winds. And June does the swirling wind dance to help Rocket get out of it. But I think these winds are associated with one of Beethoven's piano tracks named Moonlight Sonata, third movement in C sharp minor, which was composed around 1801, then being released to the public in 1802, which was literally over 200 years ago, since the early 19th century. But anyways, after the team got out those winds, they then encounter the rolling winds, which makes June do the rolling wind dance to help Rocket get past those winds as well. And I think that these winds are associated with another Beethoven piano track, which is called Moonlight Sonata, first movement, which was composed around the same year, 1801. And I think that this musical artist made all three movements in the same year before releasing all of them to the public the next year after that. In case you don't know what the release year is, it's 1802. But keep in mind that when the team were on the way to outer space, then head back home near the end, the same exact piano track, Appassionata, first movement in F minor, released in 1807, was used, besides the Mars scene. These classic music tracks mean a lot more to us. And I believe there are more classic music tracks are still out there somewhere.